Welcome to Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-date news on the political scene of Donald Trump, his presidency, American politics and conspiracies. Please subscribe to receive notice of our daily updates. Also share with your friends and your social media. We encourage you to like our videos and give your comments.
This is TBNN.
Dems are anti-dreamers who put Americans last. The Schumer shutdown is punishment for daring to love your country. It's now clear from the ongoing Schumer shutdown that Democrats put Americans last when it comes to priorities. By refusing to contribute to the 60 votes needed in the U.S. Senate to pass the continuing resolution for government funding, Democrats are effectively holding Americans hostage while demanding citizenship for illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants, who came to this country illegally. These illegal immigrants are dreamers, according to the Democrats. In other words, Americans aren't allowed to have dreams. Only people from other countries, apparently, are supposed to be able to dream while Americans are shoved aside by cruel Democrats. Never mind the fact that up to 75% of households on welfare are immigrants living on government subsidies which are ultimately paid by American taxpayers. Yes, the real dream of many dreamers is to live off the welfare state while claiming victimhood status. Democrats have even thrown U.S. soldiers to the dogs, cutting off military funding in their callous bid to demand amnesty. But it's a huge tactical mistake, explains Newt Gingrich. Democrats made a huge mistake because what they should have done was pass the defense appropriations bill for the whole year, get it off the table. Don't threaten the men and women in uniform and their families, Gingrich told John Catsimatidis, host New York AM 970 Radio's The Cats Round Table. Instead, they stumbled into a situation where the Schumer shutdown cuts off funding for the American military on behalf of trying to get a deal for 700,000 people who entered the U.S. illegally. Democrats cannot maintain power unless the voting masses are impoverished and living on government entitlements. Democrats, of course, need more illegal immigrants to be granted citizenship, so they will vote for more Democrats. The Democrat Party, astonishingly, has become the pro-poverty party that depends on increasing numbers of impoverished, uneducated citizens living on entitlement handouts promised by progressives in Washington. No wonder California is now the most impoverished state in the U.S. Yes, you read that correctly. California now has more poverty than Mississippi, Louisiana or Arizona. That's because it's run by Democrats whose very success in office depends on open border, a massive welfare state and unlimited benefits for illegals. California Democrats are so dedicated to this model of electoral success, poverty, welfare and open borders, that the state is now automatically registering illegal aliens to vote when they receive driver's licenses. Under the guidance of President Trump, the GOP passed a revolutionary tax reform bill that has already seen over $250 billion in corporate profits pledged for repatriation back into the United States. And that's from just one company, Apple. When you combine the pledges of other large corporations who are moving factories back to the United States, the job creation, federal tax revenues and employee take-home pay benefits are nothing short of astonishing. While President Obama wagged his finger at Americans and told them the golden years of a strong U.S. economy were over, President Trump is reviving the economic powerhouse that made America great in the first place. That economic abundance has already been directly experienced by millions of Americans receiving income bonuses and lowered tax rates thanks to the tax reform bill. Economic abundance is the death warrant for Democrats. This economic success, of course, threatens the Democrats by creating opportunities for individual Americans to raise themselves out of poverty and experience prosperity and freedom. And that's a signed death warrant for Democrats, who can only survive when the masses are impoverished, helpless, victimized and wholly dependent on big government to cover their basic living costs, while telling them what to think, what to eat, how to think and so on. Hence the need to bring an unlimited stream of illegal aliens into the United States, mostly from impoverished nations that were, not surprisingly, economically gutted by left-leaning economic policies in the first place. Venezuela, anyone? In essence, The Democrats want to turn America into a Mexico, or a Venezuela, or even a Cuba. Destitute populations demand big government solutions that favor power-hungry Democrats, while self-empowered people who lift themselves out of poverty quickly come to realize that high taxation and big government only crushes the real dreams of innovation, employment and entrepreneurship. Effectively, Democrats crush human dreams and demand submission, victimization and economic servitude, while President Trump is working diligently to get the government out of the way, allowing human dreams and innovation to take flight. Democrats, in essence, want to turn America into a nation of impoverished masses on government welfare benefits. Republicans want a nation of self-reliant, capable citizens who succeed precisely because government is kept out of the way with lower taxes, less onerous regulation and reduced government interventions in the lives of individuals. Which America would you rather see succeed? The real dreamers are American citizens who want to achieve prosperity. The real dreamers, it turns out, are the Americans who desperately wish to achieve prosperity. And it is precisely those dreamers who are targeted and punished by the Democrats in their quest to crush the human spirit and install themselves as power brokers over the impoverished masses. Democrats are the anti-dreamers. They are the tyrants who crush dreams and sideline Americans while openly attempting to see America overrun with welfare-collecting illegals who just so happen to vote for more Democrats. This is exactly why Republicans need to find whatever courage is necessary to resist the Democrats' engineered occupation of America with impoverished illegal immigrants, the vast majority of whom have never paid their fair share of taxes, as the Democrats like to say. If any undocumented immigrants are to be granted citizenship in a negotiation, it should be strictly limited to those who have a tax ID number and have been working jobs and paying into the system for at least the last 5 years. Yes, many of those people exist, and they are arguably hard-working people who deserve a shot at full citizenship as part of a deal that builds the wall. Everybody else should be sent packing. America is not your free welfare state. America is not your drug-running playground. America is not your sugar daddy, your crime-spree zone or your land of free health care for non-citizens. It's time for you to go, and it's time for America to defend its borders and stop the parasitic exploitation of entitlement benefits by illegals who flat-out refuse to contribute to society. America needs a merit-based immigration system that welcomes those who contribute to our nation. Build a wall. Deport the welfare illegals. Call out the shameless Democrats for their Schumer shutdown. And when it comes time to welcome hard-working new immigrants to America, make sure it's a merit-based system that welcomes those who seek to be true dreamers by following the American dream of hard work, self-responsibility and abiding by the laws of the land. Watch this brutally honest ad to understand more.
This has been the Trump Breaking News Network. Please subscribe and share to stay up to date on the latest news about our president. Be informed.